Hello and welcome to day number 12 of my 30-day 3D modeling challenge. You can hear that I have a bit more energy today. I was smart enough to get this done on the first half of the day. So here we go. I rolled a remote control. Well, the prompt itself was just remote, but yeah. I don't know how else to interpret remote other than like a remote location. I'm like, nope, it's a remote control. So I just Googled one, and I think it's a standard, pretty standard type of remote. I don't know which. It's like a normal modern TV remote. Yeah, I think it's a very the standard smart TV Samsung remote. I picked that one mainly because I'm not gonna sit here and spend hours just making buttons. I picked that remote because of its simplicity and how, yeah, there's not like, I haven't counted how many buttons it has, but it's not over 20 buttons, which would have been a nightmare to model. I learned a few things. I think, when you double click something, an edge or something, and you scale it in a way, or bevel it, or manipulate it, change it in a way, it can behave really strange if you don't apply the scale transformation of it. So you have to like tab out of edit mode into object mode and then Control A. I think it was. Was it Shift A? I think it's Control A. Or is it the you know what I mean if you use Blender. Otherwise it doesn't matter. Because if you don't, the scaling, the scale factor here, it's like, for instance, here it's like when I turn the islands into a perfect circle, it becomes a perfect circle. If I hadn't, I think I tried it before applying the transformation, and it became like more of a fucked up, weird type of circle. So yeah, to apply the transformation and scale and rotation, apply all transforms of the mesh. Do it regularly if you plan on editing or expanding the complexity of the mesh in any way. I wish there was like a plugin or a feature that did that automatically, because sometimes you just gotta like rescale it, the whole model, and if you're not careful, you can end up making some edits that just look weird because you forgot to apply it, you know. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm still struggling a bit with these buttons in particular because I just extruded them out of the model, which I think I should not have done. It probably would have been way easier to just make them into separate tiny meshes and then combine them with the main remote case. Because here I'm just like making extra work. It's just extra work, and now it's skewed, so now I have to reapply the circle modifier again, and then it's, yes. It did turn out alright. See, here, like, I just duplicate them and place them now, because I'm not gonna extrude each and every single button when I already have buttons ready. So, yeah. I think it is like, for instance, in a game, depending on how your game is rendered, maybe it's kind of important to have the mesh all like connected with vertices, properly connected with vertices, and not have anything that's floating, because that might, I think that might like affect the way it's shaded on some engines. But then again, I don't think it should matter that much. I think it's I think it might like, or I don't know, maybe. I haven't really noticed that much of a difference. But I think it just looks better when it's all in one single shape and it's all connected. How it should be connected. All right, that's why I maybe I should like import this model to like Unreal Engine or something like that and see which buttons look good and which ones look bad, or if it is any difference at all. Because there are both floating buttons on this mesh, like buttons that are not connected to the main mesh and buttons that are extruded from the main mesh. I think that's like a pretty good way to experiment which looks better, you know. So yeah, not a whole lot of buttons on this remote, which is thankfully good. Some of the topology is a bit like clearly skewed in a way, warped, but in some cases that is actually fine, as long as it's not making any major visual issues. This is like it looks, it already looks quite decent, but I know that it's not perfect. But it's you can see what it is. You can see what it's supposed to be, and I think I made the mesh good enough. The topology is good enough so that the loop cutting and UV unwrapping is more or less painless. More or less painless. Yeah, it was pretty simple and straightforward to unwrap this. Fortunately, because that's usually how what it all goes down to, you know. If bad topology leads to bad animation, like it just becomes a badly optimized mess. You can end up with too much geometry. You can end up with artifacts in your UV unwrapping if there's overlapping islands. There's you can create a lot of different problems, minor problems that all add on to each other if you're not careful, if you're just sloppy. You can really like just multiply the amount of steps before you finally get to make and finish the material of the mesh. Here I kind of fucked up with the material, the UV material. It's there we go. The only like tedious part of this was lining up, making sure the buttons are facing all facing the same direction. Because there's gonna be like symbols and writings on them and on the texture, but if they're all spun in different rotation, if they all have like different rotations, then it's gonna be a fucking nightmare to paint any detail on them. So I made sure that they're all like facing the same direction, and you know, place them out sort of like how they are placed in the remote control. Remote control, remote controller. What's the difference? Remote controller, remote control. I don't think there's a difference. I think people use both. It's all a matter of how many vowels you want to... No, how many syllables you want to use. Yeah, it looks like a real controller. I'm not sure about the dimensions because I'm not gonna look up the actual scale and dimensions. I don't do that for this exercise, but I think I eyeballed it quite well, honestly. Oh, it's raining a lot this summer here in Sweden. There's a nice, cozy little thunderstorm outside. But it just stopped. I want more thunder. I love thunderstorms. It's the best. Coziest weather ever. And I'm saying that as a very jumpy person. I am very easily jump scared, or I react. My body just reacts pretty quickly to noise and sudden noises. But for some reason, thunderstorms I find them really comforting. I don't think I'm never they don't startle me in a way. I just find them extremely powerful and endearing. Yeah, so this material, thanks for the UV unwrapping being quite simple and straightforward, accurate. I got to spend most of the time just drawing the little symbols, and it was nice. I liked it. A nice change of pace from the computer yesterday that turned out to be the longest project yet. I could have worked a bit harder to line those little dots up and maybe make the numbers a little bit more, better. But I'm not sure how. I haven't really quite figured out how to make actual writing, how to type in Substance Painter. I think there should be a way to do it. I looked up a tutorial about it last year, but it involved so many steps because he was also showing how to do different, or I think it was quite tedious process because you have to kind of make your own custom print, make your own custom prints or whatever it's called. These little shapes. And I'm but why can I not just write directly? Why is that not a tool yet? Maybe there is. Maybe there's one hidden. I haven't actually found out, bothered to look it up. So, headed towards the video. And... So, no, wait, never mind. Comment. Wait, no. Let's just make a symbol of comment. Comment, and subscribe. That is the remote control. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.